Hey guys, today I wanted to review a brand new series that's very interesting and that I think many people will love. I mean, gay men will probably love it more than anyone else, but I think it's also a series for people that really love movies and like the cinema business, if you will. So that's very interesting, and that series is Feud, Betty and Joan. I mean, Betty and Joan is the name of the first season. Of course, Feud will go on for more seasons, and I mean, probably for a lot more seasons, because it's created by Ryan Murphy, who also created American Horror Story and American Crime. And as you may know, American Horror Story has been going on for like 7 or 8 seasons probably, and American Crime has had one season with the story of O.J. Simpson, and it has been confirmed to have 2 more seasons, which is kind of insane because they haven't released any of those and they already have two like brand new. And Betty and Joan are the first season of this Feud series that will have a second season. It is already confirmed, featuring Prince Charles and Diana of Wales, so that's going to be really interesting. But let's focus on Betty and Joan for a moment. Of course, it's Bette Davis and Joan Crawford. Their feud was very well documented by, I mean, everyone back in their time in the ranging from 1940s to the 1970s practically. I mean, all their lives, and it's really interesting. I mean, talking about the whole series, which lasts for 8 episodes. I mean, it's really fast to watch if you're binge watching it. But I actually saw it like chapter by chapter, every Sunday that they released it. So it was really interesting to watch a series that way, because binge watching can actually get really annoying. I personally think that there are many series that I won't be watching because I am just fed up with that formula, and because I think it's formulaic. And Betty and Joan is not formulaic because it's real. It's about the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, which was a really famous movie because, first of all, because it featured these huge actresses, Bette Davis and Joan Crawford, but also because it started like a genre, if you will, like a type of movie where they used like older actresses in like campy, like out there roles, and they made like murder related stories. I mean, it was really insane back in the time, and they did a lot of these movies actually. This same team did Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, which was like the sequel. It wasn't really a sequel, it was just another movie with the same subject matter, if you will. And actually Joan Crawford was going to be in that movie, but she was just she felt Bette Davis was trying to control everything and she dropped out. So that was really interesting. But what is really great about this series is that these two awesome women, that build themselves. They didn't have, of course, men were there and they were the ones that gave them their opportunities, because men have always run the business. And even now, Hollywood is run by men. Even if you see like Kathleen Kennedy in Lucasfilm or other women in power, men are still pretty much in charge, and that was, of course, the reality back then. So, with directors and producers and showrunners and everything. The owner of the company, everything. So it's really interesting to see how the strings are moved in order to not only to hire these two great actresses that have a horrible thing going on between them, but to manipulate them in order to make that feud even bigger and even stronger, in order for the audience to have a laugh and be interested in the movie they were making. And that's what they did. They took advantage of both of them. And of course, Joan Crawford was not the stronger personality, but the kind of person that wouldn't go along with everything that people said. She was like, okay, I'm going to promote this movie, but until here. I won't go further. And Bette Davis did everything that she was asked for. She sang like in TV shows. She gave away like dolls of Baby Jane. I mean, she did a lot of promoting for the movie, and Joan Crawford had to do that for another movie she did afterwards that I don't remember the name. I mean, it was about a woman that kills people with an axe. The axe killer or something like that, and she did that, but she felt awful because that's not the person she wanted to be. She raised herself from being like a dancer or something like in nightclubs and stuff to an actual actress, and that has to be acknowledged, and she was amazing because of that. And of course she didn't want to go back to that like selling yourself kind of thing. So it's pretty understandable of how she felt awful. So when they ended Baby Jane, everyone thought that everyone's Oscar chances were really great on the movie, but it really hurt Joan that Bette was the only one. I mean, the only woman, because I think one of the guys was also nominated. She was the only woman to be nominated, and that really hurt Joan Crawford. So she went out of her way, and I think that's the best episode when they show that. I mean, the episode is called "And the Academy Award Goes to." And it's really the best episode ever because Joan goes out of her way in order to make Bette lose the award, and that's amazing because that back then the Academy Award, I mean, right now there are like 7,000 people, which is not really that much, but back then there were like 500. I mean, it was ridiculous. So you could really influence people by just talking. So it was really easy. So she just talked to everyone, and especially the other nominees, in order to not vote for Bette Davis, first of all, and second, to let her receive the award in their behalf, which was really amazing. I mean, that was like, whoa. And she talked to two or three of the other nominees, and they said yes, because they really saw that Hollywood had done something awful on Joan Crawford. I mean, she was really desperate and she was really sad, so they just told her like, yeah, whatever, just get it. And I don't remember the name of the Anne Bancroft was the actress who won, and Joan Crawford received the award instead of Bette Davis. So that was really bitchy. So you really know on that episode, like, yes, I mean, they really had a feud, but by the end of the series it's really beautiful because you see Joan and Bette just getting really old, and Joan is on the last days basically of her life, and you see that she imagines I mean we don't really know if this happened, but you see like this alternate reality in where they could have been friends. They really could have been really, really good friends because they were in the same business, and they were basically the same woman in the way that they lived through the same things. They had to raise children alone. They had to endure all the shit that Hollywood threw at them because of they being women. I mean, they had to take awful roles, and they had to take amazing roles, and they had to deal with their co-stars. I mean, they really were amazing actresses, and I don't think that happens today. I mean, actresses don't really have those feuds, and actresses have like an easier way out. I mean, if you read, for example, the recent Brie Larson interview with Vanity Fair, you know that she had it hard, but she has friends, and she can't rely on other people in order to don't stop everything from getting to her head. But back then it wasn't like that. I mean, getting to your head was the thing that needed to happen. So it was really intoxicating. So it's really interesting to see this series because of that, because you know that the whole movie industry fuels that anger, fuels that those awful feelings between people. And I mean, yes, one of the most well-known feuds was between Bette and Joan, but there were many other people that hated them each other. I mean, of course, there's Hedda Hopper, for example, who had Luella Parsons, I think, which was the other journalist that hated her, and they feud between them. And of course you have Olivia de Havilland in this series, played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, and she had a feud with Joan Fontaine, who was her sister. I mean, everyone hated each other back then because it was really competitive, and between women it was even harder. But I mean, between men too, but it wasn't just as out there, and all Hollywood has a lot of gossip and things that were never really told. And for example, half of the big actors in Hollywood were gay, and people knew, but people wouldn't say because it would ruin their careers. I mean, that person career and their career, their own career. So it was really insane back then, and that's why it's so interesting to see all the backstory of the movie industry back then, of the relationships, of how they handled defeat and how they handled the lack of opportunity for women when they are older. I mean, the fact that they had Baby Jane was amazing because it was really a hit, but normally that doesn't really happen that much, and it's still today a problem. I mean, if you see actresses of a certain age, there are some that are on screen, and the others are just fighting for small roles on TV or on cinema, or they are doing plays because they are like out and done with cinema. So it's really it makes you think. It makes you really think about this industry that's really rough on people. So it's really interesting. I'm really looking forward to the Charles and Diana series. That's going to be amazing and insane because Ryan Murphy has that. I don't really watch American Horror Story because I think it's really boring in my opinion. It's really like teenager kind of series. I don't like it. I haven't seen American Crime. They say it's really good, and but I'm not really interested in the future seasons, because one is going to be about Hurricane Katrina, which doesn't seem that interesting, to be honest, and the other is going to be about Gianni Versace, which would be interesting for everyone that's gay, except that they cast the wrong guy as Gianni Versace, and Penelope Cruz as Donatella Versace, and the murderer is Darren Criss. So I think the casting there is awful, but I know that many people will be watching that. But yeah, I'm really recommending you to watch Feud, Bette and Joan, sorry. It's really recommended. Please watch it. It's only 8 episodes and it's really great actresses, Jessica Lange and got it, Susan Sarandon, are just amazing in this. You just have to watch it for that. I guarantee you that they will win. At least one of them is going to win the Emmy, the Golden Globe, and the SAG. So watch this because it will be important towards the second half of the year. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. These are 2 other videos you may want to watch, and subscribe to my channel, please, for more videos. I want to reach 100 subscribers. Thank you so much. Bye.